Hey, what's up, guys? So, what did we learn from this court hearing today? Well, we learned that this judge is very strict and a no nonsense judge, and I believe he's going to do way better than Judge John Judge because he actually had Bill Thompson doing a sidebar with the Attorney General, Mr. Nye, and another lawyer. And he did mention the gag order, and he said he's going to keep it in place for now. But the way he stated it, he's going to extend it to the victims and their lawyers. So does that mean that the gag order has been placed on Stephen Christie Gonzalez? Oh Lord, I hope so. Yeah, I don't want to turn on the TV and see another interview with them. Is getting repetitive, and it's starting to make me wonder if they're in this for the money, because we all know that they more likely get paid for their interviews. And if it went down as the gag order being extended to the victims and their lawyers, then that means we will never hear from Stephen Christie Gonzalez ever again. Like, ever. Because this judge is not playing with the gag order. And Stephen Christie, they've done a lot of damage in this case. They really have. They've done a lot of damage. That's why the change of venue was granted, because of the damage that they have done from day one. Doing their own jury surveys and their own jury interviews there in Latah County. Did Shannon Gray advise them, don't do this, you're going to cause a change of venue? Or did they do it without Shannon Gray knowing? And from what I've been told and what I've heard, he's not really their lawyer anymore. He's just a family friend. And if it's true that the gag order has been extended to the Gonzalez family, and we don't hear nothing about the Mogans, we don't hear nothing from the Mogans or the Laramies or the Chapins or the Kernodles, it's all been the Gonzalez. If this gag order is extended to the Gonzalez family, it's going to piss them off that they can't do their little interviews anymore. And I'm glad, I tell you, I'm glad not to hear them on TV ever again. Now, I can understand, guys, I can really understand wanting justice for your daughter, Kaylee, and wanting justice for Maddie, because she was your uh, extended daughter, because she was best friends with Kaylee and they were almost like sisters. But the way they've been out front of this entire thing, started a GoFundMe, so they could find an apartment there in Ada County during the trial. It makes me wonder, guys. It really does. It makes me wonder if they're grifters. I hate to say that about the family of a murdered college student, because I really do. I feel for them. If roles were reversed, guys, I don't know what I would do if my daughter, who's 9 now, was murdered in college. But I know deep down I would want justice for my daughter. I would not go on interviews. It seems like monthly. I wouldn't do that. If they wanted to sit down for an interview, I would say one interview, and I don't want to be paid because they're getting paid for these freaking interviews. They're in. I have a feeling they are. They're getting paid for them. Is that truly getting justice for your daughter? Getting paid for interviews, or is that just looking out for yourself? Can someone tell me down in the comments, please? Because it more likely did start out for justice for their daughter. And then walking into court, they're in Latah with shirts that said death penalty. And then lying to us, like legit lying to us, saying that he stalked their daughter. He stalked those uh, college students in their home. Yeah, he touched their Wi-Fi. Straight lies coming from the Gonzalez family. And I'm sorry, guys. Really am. But I've lost a lot of respect for them. I really have. I've lost a lot of respect for the Gonzalez families. I still have respect for the Chapins and the Mogans and the Knodels because they are staying silent. They're not out in front of this case. They're not on TV doing interviews. They're not doing their own jury surveys. The the Gonzaleses are. They have poisoned and contaminated this case. They're in Latah to the point where the change of venue was granted. And then they did their little Gonzalez family letter blasting John Judge, saying that he was pro defense and he wasn't pro prosecution. And if they were going to do the change of venue anyway, then why waste a year in Latah County? Well, maybe they changed it because you guys meddled with the Latah County jury pool. Have you ever thought about that? Have you ever thought that the reason why they moved it is because you poisoned the jury pool? You can you contaminated it with your jury survey, with your own jury surveys. And I do believe he will get a fair trial there in Ada County. Guilty, well, innocent until proven guilty. But I do believe he will get a fair trial where he's at. Is it farther away from the murders? Yes. Is it farther away from the Gonzalez family? Yes. It's about 300 miles from them, about a 6 or 7 hour drive. And then they started this GoFundMe to raise money for an apartment there in Ada County. Well, is that the only reason why you want to raise the money? Are you sure it's not to go on vacations? Now, mind you, they're not raising the money just for them, and not just for Steve and Christy. They are raising the money for the entire Gonzalez family, the entire family, not just two people, the entire family. I'm starting to think, honestly, guys, I'm starting to think Steve and Christy are fraudsters and grifters. All you had to do was just keep your nose out of this case and let the courtroom narrative do the talking for you. Let the courts do the work. And it really irked you that he would wear suits at every court hearing, and it irked you that they would do a motion and they would have a hearing on the next month for the motion. The way you put it, they kicked the can down the road. If you hadn't meddled in this, the case would never have been moved. God is my witness, guys. If the Gonzalez family had never meddled in this case, it would have never been moved. It would have still been in Latah. But because of them doing what they did, it was moved. And it was moved for a good reason. Clean jury pool down there in Ada. Because the jury pool there in Moscow wasn't clean after the Gonzalez family got done. No, it wasn't. I mean, just look at Ann Taylor's change of venue motion. There was people wanting to hunt. If he was found not guilty, there was people wanting to hunt him down and kill him. Uh, Good old boy justice. Yeah, let the families do him in. Burn the courthouse down. Fire the police officers. And the people in Ada County from the jury survey said they wouldn't feel any different. It would just mean that he wasn't guilty. But Nez Perce, Lewiston, and Latah, those three counties, wanted to string Brian up or burn him at the stake. It was mainstream media attention up in those three counties, and not only that, you had the Gonzaleses uh, med, putting their 2 cents in and meddling in the case with their own jury surveys. That's what got it moved. And by the way the judge put it today, if I'm correct, and when he said he was extending the gag order to the victims and their lawyers, then that means, guys, we will never hear from Stephen Christie again. No TV interviews, no nothing. And that's the way it should be. The courtroom narrative is the only place where this all should be playing out. It shouldn't be playing out with the Gonzaleses on their Facebook page, and it shouldn't be played with the Gonzaleses on their interviews with News Nation and the other news stations. And just by looking at their Facebook page, which is a page that's supposed to be in remembrance of the victims, there's also happy times that they're going on vacation on there and they're just having a good old time. That is sick and gross. This is supposed to be about Kaylee and Maddie and Sam and Ethan. This is why we do it. Justice for the Idaho 4. But it just feels like that Steve and Christy are not only in it for justice for their daughter, but they're in it for themselves too. And that just, guys, that just irks the shit out of me. It really does. It makes me upset seeing what they're doing and the way they talk and how Christie made the statement in one of the interviews that she wished that he would suffer in the deepest pits of hell, and she would forgive him once he's off the planet. Guys, that's mainstream media narrative right there. It truly is. That's mainstream media narrative right there. Because I haven't seen nothing to support anything the mainstream media is saying. Not Nancy Disgrace, not Ashley Banfield, nothing. I have not seen nothing that even points to Brian being the killer. Because remember, even Bill Thompson stated that there was no stalking or anything. So why do we have Stephen Christie Gonzalez out here lying to everybody, saying, "Oh, he stalked the victims. Oh, he was close enough to where his cell phone touched their Wi-Fi"? No, it wasn't. It wasn't. I'm tired of the lies of the Gonzaleses. I'm tired of the lies of the mainstream media. We've been lied to since day one. If BK is really an unaliver, which I don't think he is, if he's really an unaliver, why would you let him drive from Pullman, Washington, 2,500 miles to Pennsylvania? You would not do that. He got stopped twice along the way in Indiana by the Indiana state troopers for supposedly following a van too close, which I don't believe. And then you had a tag reader in Loma, Colorado, pick up his tag. So either the FBI was keeping an eye on him in his car, because I don't think 2 or 3 states away in Loma, Colorado, the tag reader would go back to the Moscow PD. The only thing it would hit is for the FBI. Now, I'm not saying those 2 stops in Indiana were controlled stops, but they were kind of weird stops. He got stopped once, for following a van too close, and then 2 miles down the road, he got stopped again for the same thing. So it just makes you wonder. But I'm so happy that Bill Thompson was a good boy today in court. No temper tantrums, you know, no turning purple. Although it's something that the judge said he quickly had to do a sidebar with with the attorney general's lawyers. And both of them just kind of seemed lost today, Ann Taylor and Bill Thompson, because Ann Taylor mentioned something about she's not under contract right now, and she was asking about a contract because that's just the sometimes, guys, that's the pitfalls of a change of venue. Because the judge said that he would have to get a hold of somebody about and see about the contract. I mean, I hope, guys, I really hope that at the next hearing, Ann Taylor is still his defense attorney. Because when she was talking about contracts, the most devastating thing that could happen is Brian being in Ada County without a lawyer. They would have to put a request in for a new lawyer. So let's hope that they get this thing with this contract figured out. Like always, guys, like, comment, subscribe to my channel, hit that bell notification for any new uploads. And Monday, I am doing a debate with a gentleman by the name of Carl, and he fired some shots tonight. And before I wrap up this video, I want to play one of his little 30-second shorts. Because he kind of fired shots, not only me, but at the true crime community.
Hello, Robert of True Crime Cult Status. You make claims that I watch Nancy Grace and some other chick. I've seen Nancy Grace. I do not watch her. The other lady, I don't even know who the hell that is. And your assertion that I will be shaking in my boots and that you will debunk my theories. Well, unlike most of the rest of the true crime podcast community, I'm not a keyboard warrior. I don't submit to conspiracy theories. And I've heard plenty of them. And I think you're kind of weak. Bring it. Might I add, Robert Hawley, that plenty of your true crime podcasters do nothing all day but comment on the same old boring crap. They assume his innocence. They make up theories as to why he's innocent, but do not offer proof as to why he is innocent. And from what I can tell, a lot.
Hey, I'm going to cut it off there because he gets kind of offensive. But like always, like, subscribe, comment on my channel, hit that bell notification for any new uploads. And Monday night, and it's just going to be on my channel only. We're not going to dual stream it. Him and I is going to have a debate right here on this channel. So He's not going to be dual streaming. It's going to be right here on this channel only. You guys have a good Friday morning. And this is Robert with True Crime Podcast. I'm out. Peace.